Ali Ayala lands Vermosa. The next big thing in PH retail and commercial real estate. Property giant Ayala Land Inc. is expanding its Vermosa estate in Imus, Cavite. The move aims to boost growth in the Dong-Hari corridor, where Vermosa has already made a significant impact since its launch in 2014. The expansion will involve the addition of new retail outlets, including a Landers Superstore and Army Navy and Panda Express drive-through stores, as well as the opening of Ayala Malls Vermosa. New amenities such as parks, a government center, and a church will be added in the near future. In a bid to further establish Vermosa's presence in the region, the Philippine Red Cross will be setting up its headquarters in the estate. With all these developments, it comes as no surprise that capital values for commercial lot investments have almost doubled at 82% since the estate's inception. Home investors have also expressed satisfaction with the high turnover rates of the different residential communities in Vermosa, including the courtyards by Ayala Land Premier, Alveo's Ardea, and Avida Vera settings. To ensure that the estate continues to grow with reliable power supply, Vermosa will have a dedicated substation from utility giant Meralco. With all these developments in place, Vermosa is set to become a vibrant and thriving community, further solidifying Ayala Land's position in the Philippine property market. SMC San Miguel to power firms, build more BESS facilities.
San Miguel Global Power Holdings Corp. is urging other power firms to follow its initiative and collectively build 5,000 megawatts (MW) of battery energy storage system (BESS) facilities all over the country.
SMC Global Power President Ramon S. Ang said the BESS facilities would support the peak supply requirements and achieve energy security in the coming years.
SMC is building up to 1,000 megawatts. We're encouraging all the other power industry players to put up the rest to the 4,000 megawatts, Ang said.
He said the country needs roughly 5,000 megawatts of battery energy storage capacity to support the electricity demand in between peak and off-peak hours.
The country has a potential requirement of 5,000 megawatts, kaya lang, di naman tayo pud lang magtayo niyan. Everybody will build. Why 5,000 megawatts? Because about 13,000 megawatts is the peak and off-peak is about 9,000 megawatts. The excess can be stored and use it during peak. That's an additional 5,000 megawatts to the 13,000 megawatts that will total to 18,000 megawatts. This will make our supply more stable and much cheaper with the blended cost.
The 5,000 megawatts BESS could bring down power rates by as much as P3 per kilowatt-hour, kWh. After 1,000 megawatts, you will see the impact, but once 5,000 megawatts is put up malaking tipid 9 MGA P3 per kWh, added Ang. San Miguel Global Power is expected to complete its 1,000 megawatts BESS this year. It recently inaugurated a 50 megawatts BESS facility in Limay, Bataan. This is one of the 32 BESS facilities, with a combined capacity of 1,000 megawatts that the company has been building and targeting to complete by December this year. Ang said this is the first of its kind in the Philippines, and one of the largest integrated grid-scale battery energy storage projects in the world. With BESS providing a significant portion of peak supply, existing baseload plants can run continuously and operate more efficiently, resulting in lower electricity costs for Filipino consumers.
Equally important, our facilities can support the integration of over 5,000 megawatts of renewable power sources into the grid. They can store excess energy from traditional and renewable sources during periods of low demand and release it back into the grid when demand increases. The solution that we need to help address our most pressing energy concerns is already at our doorstep, Ang said. He said the BESS has a lifespan of 15 years and cost around $500,000 per megawatt hour, which is cheaper compared to the construction cost of a power plant at $2 to $3 million per megawatt.
BESS takes around 12 months to build, unlike power plants that could take 5 years to build. This is a game-changing technology and everybody will jump into it already. Mpi Pangilinan-led Metro Pacific extends helping hand to Philippine Coast Guard in Mindoro oil spill cleanup.
The Metro Pacific Investments Foundation, MPIF, has stepped up to provide much-needed support to the Philippine Coast Guard, PCG, response teams involved in cleaning up the oil spill in Mindoro.
MPIF recently donated various medicines, medical supplies, and well on the go bags to the PCG stationed in Mindoro, specifically for the response teams assigned in Nojan, Oriental Mindoro. We hope that our donation would help protect and preserve the lives of over 378 PCG personnel who are conducting the cleanup operation of the oil spill within the vicinity waters of Nojan, Oriental Mindoro, said MPIF.
The move aligns with MPIF's commitment to aid government agencies in tackling environmental issues and advancing the welfare of the communities it serves. CEB. Bawas Lugi. Cebu Pacific to slash executive pay by 8% after Lance Gokongwei leaves pilot seat. Cebu Pacific is implementing an executive pay cut this year after ultra-billionario Lance Gokongwei resigned as president and CEO of the loss-making budget airline.
Based on a report by its parent Cebu Air, CEB salaries and bonuses of the airline's top 5 highest-paid executives will shrink by 8.2% or P15.7 million to P93.667 million in 2023. Cebu Pacific's top executives this year are Michael Such, CEO, Alexander Lau, President and COO, Michael Ivan Shao, CFO, and Candice Ayog, Chief Marketing and Customer Experience Officer. Meanwhile, compensation for other top executives is projected to rise by 8% to P184 million this year.
Since the pandemic began in 2020, Cebu Pacific has suffered P61 billion in losses under Gokongwei's leadership.
Pnx Phoenix Petroleum Philippines, Inc. Dennis Wee's Phoenix forced to hike dividends to as much as double in 2023 with investors still hanging on delayed payouts.
Phoenix Petroleum, the oil firm owned by ally of Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, Dennis Uy, is facing more troubles as it prepares to pay higher dividends to investors before the end of 2023.
Pnx has no choice but to jack up its payouts this year, on top of the unpaid dividends due to investors in 2022, as it could not buy back the preferred shares due to its cash and debt problems.
Pnx told the Philippine Stock Exchange that it has not redeemed its preferred shares, Pnx 3B and Pnx 4 as of March 30 this year, which means their holders were eligible for step-up dividend rates.
Based on the company's commitment to investors, Pnx 3B holders will receive a dividend of 10.1078%, up by 200 percentage points from 8.1078%, and Pnx 4 holders will get a dividend of at least 15.6615%, including the step-up rate of 850 basis points. The step-up rates shall be computed and applied on the next dividend period from the respective anniversary dates of these preferred shares, such as December 18, 2022 for Pnx 3B and November 7, 2022 for Pnx 4, said Pnx.
Additionally, Pnx has not provided an update on its liability management exercise, LME, which was supposed to improve the company's working capital and pay off its debt. The company's preferred shares have tanked in value since the announcement of the deferred dividend payout, with Pnx 3B currently at P49.45, less than half its P100 issue price, and Pnx 4 at P281.60, only a fraction of its P1000 issue price.
Gma7 Gma7 maintains commitment to GMA shareholders with P5.35 billion cash dividends. GMA Network Inc., led by its chairman and CEO Felipe L. Gozon, has approved the distribution of P5.35 billion in total cash dividends. The Gozon-led media outfit has earmarked P1.10 per share dividend, which is set to be paid out on May 16, 2023, to shareholders of record as of April 21, 2023.
Despite the advertising industry's cutbacks this year, which have resulted in a lower dividend per share, GMA's pledge to consistently provide the best value to its shareholders remains unwavering.
Since its official listing on the Philippine Stock Exchange in 2007, GMA has declared a total dividend per share of P9.46, with a total dividend payout of P45.99 billion from 2008 to 2022.
On average, these payouts amount to 96% of the company's net income after tax year on year. Moreover, based on its historical dividend payout, the company's dividend yield averages at 8% based on its initial public offering price of P8.50 per share.
Gma7 shrugs off film director's request for retrieval of lost funds. Film director Jose Javier Reyes took to social media to vent his dismay at Globe Telecommunications for its unhelpful response to his request to recover money stolen from his Gcash account. Based on the screenshot shared by Reyes on Instagram, the online bank owned by the billionario Zobel de Ayala clan said there was nothing that could be done to return the lost funds.
Upon checking on our end, and could see that the funds are no longer available in the reported Gcash account, I'm sorry but we will not be able to return your money, the Gcash team's response to Reyes read. After discovering that my Gcash account has been hacked and my entire wallet was drained, after asking for help to explain how my account was compromised and to retrieve my cash, this is what Gcash tells me. Need I say more? Reyes' caption read. So be careful and cautious in using this instrument because they will politely tell you, Bahala ka sa buhay mo, he added.
Reyes' followers were dismayed and offended with how Gcash handled the situation, while others shared their own horror stories with the e-wallet. Gcash should be sued for mishandling of their application, one Instagram commenter said. Grabe naman po yan gcash walang pake, another added. Mer Meralca to shift EV services to new subsidiary Movem. Manila Electric Company, Meralca, plans to shift some of the services provided by its electric vehicle, EV, unit Asake, Inc. to a newly established subsidiary, Movem Electric, Inc., a company official said. We are just going to transition ourselves to Movem, and a lot of it will be Yung Ginagawa Namin na. What we are currently doing, such as integration, offering vehicle charging stations, and integration services, Meralca First Vice President and Chief Sustainability Officer Raymond B. Ravello told Business World on March 28. In a previous regulatory filing, Meralca announced the establishment of a new subsidiary that will concentrate on creating and implementing various electric transportation solutions. The incorporation of Movem Electric, Inc. is in line with Meralca's plans to be a major player in the growing electric vehicle industry, the company said. According to Mr. Ravello, the new subsidiary will offer different services networks depending on the purpose and need of a client's charging stations.
It depends, so some of it will be depending on the use of the charging station. It could be a fast charger or a slow charger. It will be fit for purpose, Mr. Ravello added. Meanwhile, the power utility giant's other unit Asake will now focus on public transportation as it continues the operation of its fleet of jeepneys.
Asake as it is today has a transport service offering. Both private and public, we offer and manage transport services to multiple private sectors and institutions, he said. The Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act, (EVIDA), has led to an increase in the use of EVs due to the rising cost of conventional fuel. The act also zeroes the rate on EV transportation. As the EV industry becomes more economically viable, Meralca anticipates growth due to an increase in demand for EV units and transportation services, according to Mr. Ravello. I guess we still want to see how this is going to play out as EVIDA is very new. We're anticipating that Asake and the new company will be a big contributor, he said. Maybe in a few months or a few years' time we'll have a better sense, he added. Meralco's controlling stakeholder, Beacon Electric Asset Holdings, Inc., is partly owned by PLDT Inc. Hastings Holdings, Inc., a unit of PLDT Beneficial Trust Fund subsidiary Media Quest Holdings, Inc., has an interest in Business World through the Philippine Star Group, which it controls. Adrian H. Halili. Pcor Patron Corporation Ramon Ang's Patron to boost margins with own cocoa methyl ester plant. Patron Corp., led by billionaire Ramon S. Ang, aims to complete its own cocoa methyl ester (CME) plant in Limay, Bataan in the next 2 years, allowing the company to produce its own CME and cut reliance on suppliers. This move is expected to result in higher margins for diesel. According to Ang, the plant has already started, with a capacity of 180,000 tons per year. This capacity can handle up to 5% of the future requirement, with only 2% currently in place.
The plant will provide reliable CME supply, as mandated by the Biofuels Act of 2006, which requires all liquid fuels for engines and motors to contain biofuels.
Currently, the blend stands at 2% cocoa methyl ester for diesel and 10% ethanol in gasoline. Patron owns an existing 180,000 barrels per day oil refinery in Limay, Bataan. JGS Summit Holdings, Inc. worse than Cebu Pacific. Lance Gokongwei gets buried in P15 billion losses as JG's petrochemical business continues to bleed. 3 years on from the pandemic's outbreak, JG Summit's petrochemical unit remains a stubborn challenge for ultra-billionaire Lance Gokongwei, who has yet to find a way to turn around its tanking fortunes.
JG Summit Olefins Corp. JGSOC has announced a startling loss of P14.9 billion for 2022, a figure almost 4 times higher than the P4.1 billion loss the company experienced in both 2020 and 2021.
This is worse than JG's previous loss leader, Cebu Pacific, which lost by only P14 billion in 2022, on 261% growth in revenues to P56.8 billion, after cratering a whopping P24 billion in 2021. Gokongwei has relinquished his executive duties in Cebu Pacific starting this year. In its annual report, Gokongwei blamed JSOC's poor sales to the lingering impact of the pandemic on the global economy and closure of China's, a major buyer of petrochemicals, border. With surging prices of the raw materials and the cost of shipping, Gokongwei said, JGSOC strategically implemented a 3-month facility shutdown in mid-2022 along with other petrochemical players in the region.
By collectively shutting down their facilities, JGSOC and other players in the region aimed to reduce the supply of petrochemicals on the market, which would help to increase the price and erase what Gokongwei called negative petrochemical spreads. Nearly half of JGSOC's losses were due to rising interest expenses and mounting foreign exchange losses. Despite the losses, Gokongwei remains optimistic on petrochemicals as he poured P5 billion in new investments poured into the business last year after finally getting a 3-year tariff cover against rival imports under the newly installed Marcos administration.
SMSM Group may build consolidation hubs to support MSMEs. SM Investments Corp. SMIC said it plans to build consolidation hubs to aid micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, with their logistical requirements. They are mostly located in remote areas, and logistics can be very expensive for them, especially if the shipments to Metro Manila are small, the company said in an emailed statement on March 29.
The consolidation hubs in rural areas will allow MSMEs to drop off items that logistics companies of SMIC can pick up on a regular schedule.
Our company has a tie-up with the local government units, the Department of Trade and Industry, and other institutions that deal with MSMEs, it added.
SMIC is collaborating with its affiliate, Amazing Digital Economy Corp. to provide additional assistance to MSMEs. The latter has a platform that enables MSMEs to showcase their products to a wider audience across the country and globally. Airspeed can also handle cross-border delivery anywhere in the world for customers who are export-ready. Through this, MSMEs now have a platform with payment and delivery options that are reasonably priced, Smc said.
To date, the company has 2 logistics companies under its wing, 2Go and Airspeed, which provide a full suite of logistics services to cater to the requirements of the supply chain. 2Go focuses on domestic end-to-end transport and logistics using ships as its primary carrier, while Airspeed has primary strengths in customized and international cross-border logistics using planes and partner sea freight carriers, and domestic distribution via multimodal transport, the company said.
Both companies have on-land logistics capabilities which specialize on various segments of the logistics value chain.
SMIC sees faster growth in other regions where there is an expected rise of logistics opportunities. Growth is also faster in the regions compared with NCR, National Capital Region, which provides rising logistics opportunities to cater to the needs of the local economies, the company said.
The company said that as the country develops, more sophisticated logistics services will be needed to move heavy equipment and oversized materials to build infrastructure. Logistics is a facilitator of economic growth in the country as it enables the efficient and reliable movement of goods across the archipelago. This allows us and our stakeholders to reach a broader market, it added. Justine Irish D. Table.